Come in. Ah, good. It's you. Please, come, sit. Seven will be making us drinks and snacks shortly. Because based on what you wrote in your letter, we may be here for a while. Now, hello, friend. Long time no see. I would ask you how you've been, and how are you, having been promoted several years ago and all. But given the circumstances, I feel like the more appropriate question is, how are you holding up? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, trust me too. Ashna is not one to disappear unless there's a reason. She's not really one to run away either, so if rumors start to spread... Good. I trust that you can. You're in her position now, aren't you? Right. Right, she gave it to you. Right before she left. Me? Now, things have been busy here, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Huh. So, I guess with the little pleasantries out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? You said in the letter, let's see, where is it? Right here. That you have now been in her position for a good several years. Give or take, I see. Yes, time does tend to be a little more difficult to follow when there's no longer the need for time. Is there anything that you didn't write in your letter that you wanted to keep out just in case? All right. Please tell me. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh. Interesting. So I guess you finally decided to look into it. Well, I'm sure you're, at the very least, vaguely aware of the blessing. Well, that's better than nothing. Have you met anyone, any angel or inhabitant, resident of heaven that has gone through with the blessing? You have? And what was your observation of them? Was there anything about them that stood out? They no longer seem to be like themselves. Very observant. You are quite correct. For those who go through the process of the blessing, something happens in there, and they basically take out the part of your spirit that is free will and free thought. So that way, when you leave the clinic, you will be completely and utterly satisfied and perfectly complacent with where you are. No more having to argue with a new soul at the gates, and no need to worry about angels who feel like the methods and the way that the world is going and how they cannot interact as much, how they're dissatisfied. I personally wouldn't quite call it brainwashing, because that would imply that they replaced that free thought with something else. They don't. Zombie is definitely a way to put it. Yes. But this blessing very obviously isn't one, correct? It's possible that some of the angels think that it is one, as if one doesn't have to worry or think about possibilities of what could be. And they have no reason to fight against what they're being told, right? Like I said, perfect complacency and obedience. No questions, just follow. But they lose themselves in the process. Very much so, yes. That was always something that Ashna hated, by the way. And that is why she's been sending recruits of greeters down to me, so that I can teach them how to properly greet newcomers, as well as assist them in adjusting and accepting their new reality up at the pearly gates. I did know, but unfortunately for Ashna, like I may have mentioned, she couldn't tell you, because she works there and she lives there. But I can, because I don't do either. Why I prefer not going up there is another story for another time. But now that you know, roughly, or at least in better detail, what the blessing does, can you see why she's so upset about it? Exactly. She did. So now that we know why she's gone, we need to know why she hasn't come back yet. Oh, I doubt she would have been caught. She's a lot smarter than that. I've taught her a few things. So if anything, she's probably in hiding. But I can't tell for sure. Ah, yes, I remember you writing that in the letter. I suppose Ashna told you then. You are correct. I have, in my home, the best, strongest, and fastest spirit hounds amongst these many planes. Sweet boys and girls, I trust them with every fiber of my being, and I know you can trust them too. But they have the capability of sniffing out and finding every and any soul living once at some point or otherwise, and bringing them to me. They've been around for much longer than we have, and I'm talking even longer than I have. Now, never. They listen to me, and they will listen to you too. But of course, they will be the ones employed to look for Ashna or any traces of her. I must keep to the office, to my home and realm, because we have a massive influx of new entities, spirits, new souls who are lost and need our guidance. As much as I appreciate the offer, I have a feeling you're more needed upstairs. I heard it's getting busy there, so please take care of yourself. Do your best to keep running things like normal up there. Teach the new greeters how to greet, and teach them the lessons that I've taught you while you've worked here. Now, you should be fine, as long as you continue to do your work as if nothing's happened. They won't question you. Trust me, I know that much. I promise I will keep you updated on everything that my hounds find. But in order to find Ashna, and hopefully find her in a safe place with her entire mind intact, and her entire essence for that matter, both of us need to play our part. You be the greeter, and I'll be the seeker. That would be fantastic, yes. I would appreciate any updates from you when it comes to the Archangels and their moves. Exactly. If they try to do anything, we'll be 1 to 2 to many steps ahead of them. But for now, please, let's spend a little time talking of some other things. We could talk about plans. We can talk about Ashna. And if you want, while we drink our tea and eat the snacks, I'll be more than happy to tell you about the blessing in its finer details, and why Ashna is so against it to the point to where she is willing to risk her entire identity on it.